Welcome back to episode 10 of the Social Media Stewards. This is, I don't know what it is now.
Week two.
No,
week
two of testing our patience. That's what it is.
It is
yes.
Indeed.
And what a week it's been. It has not been an uneventful week.
No, it's been on track and off track. It's been quite eventful.
Yes. It's more than anything, I mean, some of the things from the cars we've seen with some very clever innovations this week.
Yeah.
That we certainly never thought we would see. And I think because this is the most exciting one that I've seen, we have to start with Ferrari. We've got to.
Yes. That rear wing.
It's like a rotisserie chicken.
I was thinking, I've seen the meme with the doner kebab thing going around.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I like that. It's just it looked more like it went wrong.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It looked like it rotated too far and it was a mistake.
Yeah.
Until they did it again and again, and it was like, oh, you did that on purpose.
It
was very clever.
Yeah, I like you. I thought there was some sort of malfunction at first.
Yes.
When you saw like how far, I thought it kind of just it over rotated, maybe come off whatever clips it was on or whatever, and kind of went, and you're like, oh, hang on.
Yeah,
they're not pitting, they're not coming in to check that. That's actually the way it is. But it does seem like we've got a video of it running in the top corner now. It does seem like it gives some sort of advantage under braking.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because when it rotates backwards and it goes flat before it goes upside down, that's a massive air brake.
Yeah.
Now, to a degree, I wonder how much that'll work for them, but also against them. Coming into the braking zone as you're closing it, fantastic.
Yeah.
As you're accelerating just up to that board where you can open the flap, will it just for a split second give it a bit of drag? I don't know.
You gotta think for a split second, the drag's not going to be optimal there. You're going to have a slight moment where it feels like you may be kind of hitting the brake before you get that acceleration again with the air passing through it. And also, I wonder about the lift underneath it, because it's a curved wing, and you've got that air now going through the center. It's going to catch, maybe lift that rear end up just a touch.
Maybe.
But it's such a strange innovation. I was thinking that can't be legal. Like, that cannot be legal. Like, maybe they're running it and they're waiting to see the FIA pull them in and go, listen, you've had a laugh. But no. But apparently it's passed, like, FIA are cool with it, so...
Yeah.
But that wasn't the only thing they come up with as well. I missed this completely, and you pointed it out to me. The little...
Yeah, so they've fitted... Yeah, it looks like they fitted like a flap almost, and it covers a small section at the bottom of the exhaust. And it's actually to redirect airflow to the bottom, the underside of that wing. But it's something to do with Ferrari's rear end and the fact that you're not allowed anything within, it was 6 centimeters, wasn't it, of the rear diffuser. But because they put their drive shafts so far back, it's a different classification.
Yeah.
So they are allowed to put that small little diffuser. So it's not like another team could even mimic it, because they'd have to look at moving their entire differential and drive shafts. Yeah. So you can't mimic that without a full redesign.
The only ones to be able to are the Ferrari-based, so Cadillac and Haas. Is it?
Yes.
So they'd be...
No, I'm not sure on that one.
Because they use the same gearbox, they could basically redesign everything beyond the gearbox onwards, and it would work.
Yeah,
but it'd take a redesign. And I think close to the season.
Well, I'm not sure. Excuse my ignorance on this one. I'm not sure if the differential is part of the gearbox housing, or whether that is separate, and you can put it as far forward or as far back as you see fit, if you like. Yeah. So I'm not sure, obviously, if you're supplied the engine and gearbox, the battery, and then the differential, whether or not the teams make their own differentials. So I'm not sure if that's classed as part of the engine. I'm not honestly sure on that one.
I did, just when I was like looking at it before when you sent it through to me, I did read through it, and it was saying that literally the Ferrari engine teams could essentially make it work.
There you go then.
But it would require some level of redesign at this point.
Okay. Yeah.
But I completely missed it. And have you seen that thing they've tacked onto the back? Like, nope, not at all. Because I'm not really looking at the pipe. Kind of once you've seen the back end of a F1 car, you don't need to see it again. Usually.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I've not seen that. But then you're looking at it before and it's saying like, actually, it's been used before the cars got so big that essentially dimensions kind of outlawed it. Like the size of the car essentially outlawed it. But now they've gone back to those smaller cars. Like Ferrari have kind of gone, oh, didn't we used to?
Yeah.
So it's a good bit of old school thinking to apply to the new regulations, which, if you couple that with the wing, I wonder. I mean, they've obviously run them both during testing this week. I wonder, like, all the data that they've gathered together, are they looking at it going, this works? And I mean, timing suggests that it does.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, the only reason I actually noticed it is they'd used that green float paint through the rear diffuser, if you like, and it was splattered all over it, so it was like illuminated green. That's the only reason I spotted it, and I thought, well, hold on, what's that? And I thought at first they'd fitted a plate just to measure airflow.
Yeah.
But then obviously watching through bits of testing, it came up with one of the commentators and they said, oh no, Ferrari have fitted this to help with air to the rear wing. And I thought, ooh, that's a bit clever, isn't it?
Yeah.
But at the time, I didn't know the ins and outs of it, where you can only do that because your drive shafts are in a certain position. I just thought, well, all the teams are just going to glue something on now back at the factory.
Yeah.
And that's it. But it's obviously not that simple.
Yeah, their whole design philosophy has been looks like it's been about that when it comes to the diffuser, the exhaust system. Because for anyone wondering what it's doing, it's actually using engine exhaust and redirecting that air instead of just throwing it right out the back. It's actually using that air, which you got to imagine is coming out with some force. So it's an incredible way of using extra airflow that other people are wasting to create some downforce.
I wonder if that might work against them in the fact that it will that push the hot air away from the cars behind? Because normally they're getting that like right at face height straight into their inlets, and it's heating up the cars following so closely to the car in front. So if they're redirecting that hot air upwards, could it help cars follow them closer in the long run?
I mean,
just a theory.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't thought about that. I mean, the other side of that is, does it disrupt the airflow that much that it makes it harder to follow? Because it's kind of like pushing it up and out.
I'm not sure.
Which possibly then, was hitting it about side pod height. Possibly. It's such a weird one. I mean,
I don't know.
You mentioned earlier before we started about like the way Hadjar was following so closely behind Hamilton.
Yes.
So maybe it does help the car behind, because Hadjar didn't seem to have any trouble.
No.
Kind of sticking the back of Hamilton there. It's just. It's obviously worked for them in the timings, because they are. I mean, we'll look at the timings a little bit later on, but nearly a full second ahead of. I think it was Kimi Antonelli. He was second in the testing timings this week. They were like 0.8 of a second faster than the next fastest car. Essentially, Leclerc was. So whatever they're doing seem to be working for testing. Obviously, when we said this last week, you don't know who's running at full chat and who's just conserving a little bit, and what test programs they're running. But all the other teams have got to be looking at that going 0.8. That
Yeah.
Even if you're not running full pelt,
yeah,
0.8's a massive gap over a lap.
Of course it is.
To be looking and going, did we leave? Did we leave enough off?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I've quite enjoyed about this week of testing, and the first week as well, is in years gone by, Ferrari have turned up with a very predictable looking car, if that makes sense. I'm not talking about the livery, but there hasn't been anything that has made them stand out. It doesn't appear that they've taken any risks. And so it's almost as though Ferrari have gone, well, what do we need to do? We're Ferrari. Whereas this time they've turned up and gone, oh, you weren't expecting me upside down chicken rotisserie wing, were you? And you weren't expecting this little flap at the back. And it's like they've really gone away and thought about it and pulled out some things from, like you say, from olden days when they've gone, we've done this before, we know it helps, we know it works, let's bring it back. Worst case scenario, they remove it. Do you know what I mean? It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. The upside down wing, who on earth thought of that?
Yeah.
I wonder if somebody's just drawn it upside down and gone, hey, that works in a wind tunnel. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
I think, like, rolling the dice with it, I think you're right. Like, what's the worst that can happen? The FIA say, no, you can't do that. Take that plate off the back.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't. With the wing, they go, no, it's moving too much. But they haven't. And, like, worst case scenario, you put back the wing that was working last week and you were still quick last week.
Yeah.
And you were saying about it, like, helping under braking. There was an analysis video that I saw the other day, and Lewis was braking 3 car lengths later than everybody else.
Yeah.
Going into the corners. And you're like, it was a little bit slower coming out of the corners, but making up 3 car lengths under braking. And then being able to kind of stay with the cars roughly on the exit. That's huge. If that's a wing that you can use it, you got to imagine you take that wing to Vegas.
Yes. Yeah.
And at the end of that straight, you can gain 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 car lengths.
Yeah.
At the end of that straight.
Yeah.
Anywhere that's got a really long straight, that's going to be huge. If you can pull that in. Texas.
Yeah. I mean, the other side of that is, obviously, the first week of testing, that wing didn't exist. Or if it did, we haven't seen it. It wasn't on track. So that could just be for certain tracks with really long straights. You know, we don't know what other wings they've got in the arsenal, if you like. So it might work at some tracks. Having said that, once you've fitted that wing for a race, if it's really windy and it's shaped like an airplane wing, is that going to really upset the back end?
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a funny way, but you do sort of think with airflow, especially with strong winds, we've seen it catch drivers out in the past, even if DRS isn't active. If you suddenly activate DRS and it's upside down like that to create a bit of lift and you have a strong wind, what will it do?
I mean, I mentioned Vegas there, but the other side to that, like you say, I mean, Vegas is a street circuit. When the air does not really escape around the street circuit. So, would it help you on that big straight, but the rest of it, where the air is constantly, like, kind of kept in this tunnel, like essentially, and like Monaco, all things like that. Yeah, will you just be putting on a normal wing there?
Yeah,
you got to think that they're looking at it going, This is going to help us here and there, but
I mean, I wonder if teams will have a variety, because we've seen some that just fold down from the front. We've seen some that open in the middle. We've seen some that open from the top. We've now seen an upside down wing.
Yeah.
I wonder whether some teams will have a variety of different ways of it folding for different circuits.
Yeah.
Because some might offer a better, obviously, aspect for different tracks.
I can imagine they've all been watching each other this last couple of weeks, as they always do, and someone's going to be at the drawing board back at every team going, can we make that work? Can we Can we make different wings work at different places? But just usually you kind of come away going, oh, a couple of teams have come up with some great ideas, but it's just Ferrari who are rolling the dice, essentially. Everybody else has gone, well, ours opens this way, yours opens that way. Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
The
only other team that seemed to have something a bit weird was purely those side pods on the Audi.
Yeah.
They were the only other thing that was like, whoa, hold on a mo, what's that?
Yeah.
Everything else has been very, not predictable, but what we thought it would look like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
mean? But no, we said the other week that we regarded Ferrari, though, like, they could come out with a great car, and it looks like they have.
Yes.
But go into the season, the car might not be the thing that matters.
You just hope they've all been sent on like a retreat where all they've done is study strategy. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what's let them down in years gone by, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I don't know if I've missed it, but I don't think Lewis has been like actually appointed a proper race engineer yet. I may have missed it.
I haven't seen that. No.
I mean, the guy was meant to be coming across from McLaren. But whether that's still in the works, you've got a couple of weeks to sort it, but you would have hoped that he would have had time to develop some sort of relationship with your race engineer over the last couple of days or the last couple of weeks. But, which will put him at a little bit of a disadvantage because you need to be able to read each other's tones, and the race engineer needs to be able to relay info to the driver in such a way that the driver accepts it. You think Bono and Lewis, you think JP and Max.
Yeah, of course.
It's not just handing over information. It's the way it's done, and that relationship is vital to get the most out of the car and the driver. But things definitely looking up for Ferrari after 2 weeks of testing.
Yes,
which for the Tifosi and for those who think like your buddy in work, who think that Ferrari doing well is good for the sport. Well, hopefully it will be good for the sport.
Let's hope so. Yeah. The main thing is, even if it's not, for the first year of sort of Ferrari getting their act together, if you like, even if it's not a championship winning car, it's the fact of even if they could come in and finish, second in the constructors or whatever, and just be getting really good results and fighting for podiums, that's what they need right now. Do you know what I mean? Because they've certainly got the drivers.
Oh, yeah.
And from the looks of it this year, it looks like they've got the car. So I just hope that the team back that up with the strategy calls and things like that.
Yeah.
Because that's what they need. They need to be giving the drivers the proper information at the proper times.
Yeah.
I'm really hopeful for them this year.
Yeah, I think what excites me is, obviously as a Lewis fan, is him the other day saying, look, I'm not going anywhere. Maybe I forgot who I was for a minute. But I'm not going anywhere. And you're like, okay, you give him a car that he thinks he's got a chance of driving into a championship. Maybe. Who knows? It's exciting times. To hear Lewis kind of think, I've got the fight back in me and I'm ready to go. And on top of that, I think Leclerc is a potential world champion given the right car. He's one of the best drivers on the grid.
Yeah.
You said it the other week, that Ferrari lineup is one of, if not the strongest lineups.
Without a doubt.
On the grid.
Yeah.
They just need the car. And it looks like they've got the car. They now just need the team to do what they're meant to do and not rub a spanner in the works every time. Yeah,
that's exactly it. I mean, the only team I would say that's got a strong lineup like that really is McLaren.
Yeah.
It's Lando and Piastri because they were so equally matched for the vast majority of last year. I mean, it's great to see Hamilton so enthusiastic, but we did hear all this at the beginning of last season when he first moved to Ferrari. It was, I know I've struggled, put all that behind me. I'm in a great mood. It's going to be great. But I think having that first year at Ferrari, to see him now saying, I'm really excited, I'm back, it's like, right, okay, maybe he's definitely seen improvements. They're on the right path.
I think the difference between the dejection of last season, he'd given up halfway through the season because of that car, and the team didn't help. To now, okay, don't want to buy into it too much, but it's promising. It's very promising.
Definitely.
Yeah. You touched on McLaren. Should we talk about them? Nothing too special from them across the 2 weeks, really.
Not really.
No. They both put a lot of time in. I mean, Oscar Piastri in his interview afterwards said he's a lot more optimistic after this week.
Yeah.
So it sounds like they've kind of, got the first week kind of issues maybe ironed out. But the timings compared to the likes of Mercedes and Ferrari weren't that great. I mean, Zach Brown said that he thinks they're in the top 4, but not near the top.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you were right the other week. Your prediction?
I mean, I think the thing is that no one's telling the truth at testing. It is just an entire pit lane full of lies. That's the way it is. It is.
No, I'm there with you. I'm there with you.
It's nobody's telling the truth at all. It's like a massive game of poker. I don't know. I just think part of the problem was, especially for the last the end of 24 through the season of 25, to me, Zach Brown just seems too overconfident. It's like, well, we've already got it. We've won. What's the problem? Nobody can beat us. Not even that Dutch fella. He can't beat us. What do you mean 2 points? He can't do it, right? And I think he's become too cocky, and it's almost like he's taken his eye off the ball. It's almost like, we're McLaren, of course we're going to win. And I think, you're going to be knocked down a peg or two here. And bear in mind, I don't hope that on them, because I like Lando and I like Piastri, and I think they're both two amazing drivers. But I just think in the way Zach was acting, and he is quite a boisterous character, it just seemed too overconfident, and I thought, that's it. Normally when you see a team principal, it's like, we're doing well, but we can improve. He never gave that impression.
Yeah.
It was always, we're doing well, and that was it.
Yeah.
But,
I don't want to offend any of our American audience, but he does have that kind of stereotypical American bravado, doesn't he? Like it's that, oh no, it's I get you, we are too good, we're just, we're McLaren. I get having the confidence, but like you say, you got to temper it. You got to temper it with a little bit. We're confident, but we know there's room. But he doesn't. And I kind of look at it. I'm like, you come out saying, after the last 2 weeks of testing and the shakedown and all that, I think we're in the top 4. That is some downfall.
Yeah.
From being the dominant team for the last 2 seasons and finishing the Constructors' Championship with 42 races to go last season. To go, we might be top 4.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nothing to take any comfort with. If you ask me, it's. I kind of look at it going, I like McLaren. I do like McLaren. Sometimes I wear my Zach Brown cosplay when we're doing this.
Yeah.
But to have Oscar coming out going, I'm slightly more confident and slightly more upbeat after this, and Lando changing his tune, which we'll come to, I think, a bit later on, and Zach coming out going, top. We reckon we're in the top 4.
Yeah.
You're basically saying, we might be just above where Williams finished last season.
Yeah, I can't see them have fallen that far, to be honest with you. But then again, it's if it was the same regulations just in 26, I'd think give over, Zach. Don't be so daft. But with it being such a massive change,
yeah,
it could be.
Yeah, well, yeah, you look at it.
Could be.
If you look at the pre-season testing so far, the two favourites going into the season, in my eyes, are Ferrari and Mercedes.
Yeah.
So it's whether McLaren have done enough to pit Red Bull.
Yeah.
And the Red Bull looks strong, looks very consistent throughout practicing. Yes, they've been faster than the Red Bull over the testing, but again, it comes down to, we'll say this so many times over the last couple of weeks, but you don't know what plans they're running, what power they're running, what strats they're running. But yeah, if you're slower than Ferrari and Mercedes off the bat, you've got to hope that you've got it on Red Bull. To stay in the fight.
I think the thing is, oh, go on, sorry.
Finish the thought. I was going to say, and yeah, I was just going to reiterate, and it's a long way to fall from the top.
Of course it is. I think, whilst you brought up Red Bull, the interesting thing there is, obviously, Red Bull and Racing Bulls, they've got their own power unit. So it's obviously Red Bull and Ford together have made this power unit. So they are the only cars on the grid that have that power unit. And I think the thing is, it's impressive just how strong and reliable that power unit has been straight out the gate.
Yeah.
Because you think about, we'll get on to Aston Martin in a bit, but Honda been in this sport now for a long time. If you said to me, which one do you think is going to be a bit of a dicey engine this year? I would have thought Ford Red Bull.
Yeah.
Purely because, it's been a long time since I've seen Ford in F1. I'm not saying they've never been there before. They have. They've done work with Cosworth and things in the years gone by. But that was a big risk. And when you see the Red Bull come out on track and the Racing Bull, they've been consistently strong. They haven't been slow by any stretch of the imagination, but they've pounded the laps in. And it's been consistent overall all the time. And as we said before as well, I was saying to you, when I saw Hadjar out on track and he was, you're doing a little bit of race sim and he was, following closely behind Hamilton. He was doing the same with Russell and things like that. And the Red Bull was very stable, following very closely behind. It had the power coming out the corners. It could brake like going in. Obviously, you don't know how much the other driver's pushing as well. It's all a bit of pantomime, isn't it? But it looked very planted. And Hadjar looked very comfortable in the car. Yeah. It didn't seem as unruly as some of the other cars. Some of them look quite tail happy, a little bit light when they're coming out the corners. A Red Bull looks pretty planted on week 2.
It did. And you talk about the engine looking strong and consistent. You look at the overall laps. So Mercedes have 4 teams, right? So Mercedes engines did 4,000 laps, 4,098 laps, right? That's between 4 teams, so 8 cars. Ferrari have got 3 teams, is it? And they did 3,084 laps between 6 cars.
Yeah.
The Red Bull powertrain did 2,021 laps between 4 cars over the 2 tests. That's 1,000 laps per team on average. And that engine showed no sign of letting up. Little issues like everybody does at these tests is why they do the test.
Of course. Yeah.
2,000 laps between 4 cars over the 6 days. That's a lot of work put in by those engines, and for them not to kind of just disintegrate everywhere. Considering, I would have thought Ford would be the one having a problem, or Audi would be the one having the problem, seeing as they've been crazy and brought their own engine in.
Exactly.
They have been solid, absolutely solid, and as you say, on top of that, the car's looking so planted and.
It is.
There was a sequence with Hamilton and Hadjar were just playing with each other, just chasing each other around, and the Ferrari looked really good, really quick, but following
Yeah.
in the dirty air, that Red Bull looked solid.
Looked happy.
It looked very, very happy.
Yeah.
So, like I say, the McLaren might have a job keeping up with that.
Yeah.
But that really surprised me. I thought it was a massive gamble for Red Bull.
Yeah. Definitely.
I mean, yeah, Ford have got the pedigree, as you say, but it's F1.
Yeah.
And new engines and
great unknown, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is the great unknown. And as we've seen in years gone by, just because somebody's always been good at making an engine doesn't mean they're going to continue to be good when a regulation change comes in. It doesn't. And this has happened before.
Yeah.
So to come in with a brand new supplier in brand new regulations, it's not even like a mid-season change.
You
know, very, very big risk. But so far, it looks like it's if they can keep the reliability up and just keep altering the performance or improving it or tweaking it. And that's the good thing in some ways, because it is only Red Bull and Racing Bulls. Any modifications they make or tweaks, it's all sort of in-house and closely guarded.
Yeah.
It's not like you're handing it out to other teams that are running the engine. Do you know what I mean? It's clever.
Yeah, it's a very, very brave but very smart move if it pays off.
Yeah, definitely.
But we could go down to Aston Martin straight away, but I think we're going to spend some time there. But
so are the mechanics.
Yeah. But if you look at, if you go down the field a little bit, we were talking about this before we went live. But let me just make sure I press the right button here. We could talk about Haas or Alpine.
Yeah, both looking quite strong and quick.
Yes.
I mean, what are they doing up there? They don't belong there.
No, I mean the Alpines this week.
Yeah,
they kind of jumped out to me, because if you think last season they were also Rans, they literally were they were also there. They had such a poor season last season.
Yeah, they did.
But like, where were they? Like they won. Colapinto's in the top 10. Day 2, he's in the top 6. Day 3, Gasly's 5th. In terms of times, and Gasly put in, both drivers put in absolute shit. 200 laps each, there or thereabouts. But that's the second time in 2 weeks that Gasly's done that.
Oh yeah. So, and, I mean, following closely behind that, Behrman.
Yes.
What's happening?
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, they're both 1.5 seconds slower than the Ferrari, but on day 3. But
yeah, but
you're not one. If I'm McLaren and Red Bull and that, again, you don't know what programs and everything, but you kind of. I'd want to be like, right, guys, get back on track for a couple of laps and just make sure you pit them, just so it looks.
Yeah, but you've got to think, all right, 1.4 seconds off the Ferrari on day 3 for Pierre Gasly. Okay. That is still just under a second quicker than Piastri on the same day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's as much as we're going, well, it's still 1.4 gap. It's like, well, yeah, but Piastri was 2.3 behind.
Yeah. That's the thing, you're always coming back to, you don't know what strats they were running, what power they were running, but at the end of the day, if you just look at the timings, they were just consistent. They were just very consistent. And even Colapinto, and I don't really rate him.
Yeah.
But very, very consistent over his, he did day 1 and day 2. And, day 1, he's putting in 135. Day 2, he's putting in a 133.8 or whatever, consistent and improvement. And he put 120 laps in on day 2.
Oh, yeah.
And on day 1, he put in 60. So we put 180 laps in over 2 days. And then Gasly did the same, like over the next day 2 and day 3. They're both very comfortable in that car. It looks that way. Yeah. And you didn't hear of any major issues from Alpine. You didn't hear of any worries with the car, with the chassis, with the engine, with the drivers struggling with the car. It just seemed to go very smoothly for them. The same with Haas as well.
Well, I know Gasly was saying they had an engine change, but it was done very quickly. For some reason, they had to change the engine out the car. But Colapinto, all he had to say was very early to say but it's all going as planned. And you're like, ooh, well, that's quite nice.
Yeah.
You're like, wasn't expecting that one, to be honest.
No. But I think that's, if you're looking to make steps, and we'll come to it because it's something that Mike Crack says in his statement about Aston Martin a bit later on, but you just want to keep the momentum going during testing.
Yeah, of course
you want to keep the wheels going. You want to make sure the car's on track. You're getting all the data. You don't want to be pulling it in. An engine change, you get it done, and you get back out on track the same day. I mean,
it's brilliant,
fantastic.
Yeah,
you're collecting all that data, and if that's your biggest issue for the testing, that's absolutely amazing. Yeah. If you're a mid team or a tail end team last season looking to make that step up.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't ask for it to go any better for both of them, Haas or Alpine. And
of course not.
All 4 drivers putting in shifts. I think all 4 of them put nearly 200 laps in this week.
Yeah.
For Alpine and Haas, respectively. And you kind of like, to some degree, you want to hear loads of stuff about what's going on with the teams and everything. But if you go through a testing and you haven't really heard much, it's gone smoothly. It's gone relatively smoothly. So your team's going to be happy. Your team's going to be buoyed by that going into week 1.
Yeah.
The drivers are going to be happy because they spent so much time in the car and they're used to it. They're acquainted to it. They've got their head around all the controls and everything. It's different.
That's the thing. The teams that sort of passed under the radar that we didn't hear much about, they're the ones I'm sort of interested in. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
What was going on there? I mean,
you got Haas, you got Alpine, Williams turned up, and we're there or thereabouts, same timings as Haas and Alpine, and they haven't had the greatest start to. They missed a shakedown.
No, they haven't.
He was slightly late to the first test. They've come in, and you haven't really heard anything from them. And you're like, well, okay, it's going quite smoothly for them as well. Both drivers getting some time in the car.
They had a few fun moments where they were caught out under braking and things like that, and gone very wide at corners into runoffs and things. But all the drivers have done that.
I'll be very honest with you. You kind of got to give them a little bit of leeway because they weren't there to shake down. It's the very first time they've actually been in the car outside the simulator for these 2 weeks.
Well. It's not just that, but how are you going to find the limit if you don't push it?
Yeah,
you're not, are you?
No,
do you know what I mean? Because that was one of the things that not irritated me, but it's a little bit annoying if you're watching the commentary and it's like, oh, look at this, Sainz went off at turn 10, and then the next lap he did it again, and then later on the day he did it again. You're like, yeah, but he's got to find that limit.
Yeah,
just you can't criticize the drivers for that.
No.
Because, Hamilton going into turn 1 had one of the biggest lockups I've ever seen in my life. I'm surprised the tyres didn't burst.
Yeah.
But that's not because he can't drive the car. It's purely because he's looking going, how late can I brake in this car? Not that late.
Yeah.
And, you've got to learn that. You have to.
You got to think as well, it's not just like, how late can I brake? It's how late can I brake and go through every procedure I need to go through on the wheel.
Yeah,
to prep myself for exit.
Of course.
And, you're going to see some moments, Stroll had a massive off on day 1, because he aggressively downshifted and found himself beached. You know,
Yeah.
they're all exploring it. It's like when you see free practice at every single race.
Yeah.
Like, free practices never go without incident. There's always red flags. There's always a car in a barrier.
Yeah.
There's always a car in the gravel, because every week they're looking for that limit.
Of course they are.
And if you've not had that much time in the car, and you're Alex Albon and you're Carlos Sainz, you're going to take every opportunity you can in this pre-season testing to just get acclimatized to that. And just, little moments, little upsets, but quite a smooth season overall for them, which is what I really, really wanted for them after such a nightmare getting to the track.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Just get the laps under your belt, get some data on the car.
Yeah, exactly.
And get back to the factory. Because I after all of our Williams loving, I so want them to kind of just come good this season again, just build on last season. And
I think the first couple of races will be very much a data gathering exercise. I don't think, because they have been so delayed, I don't think they're going to come out the gate swinging. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think it'll take long for them to get accustomed to that car and very quickly get with the program. Do you know what I mean? And to be honest, I think a lot of the teams seem to be coming out pretty strong. Because the biggest issue seems to be when they're talking about the differences this year, no one's complaining about the fact that the cars are smaller, lighter, less downforce. The only complaints the drivers really have is all to do with the battery management nonsense.
Yeah.
So because they've all had so much experience, obviously the past regulations where it's been all about the flow underneath the car and everything like that.
Yeah.
This is different, but it's more what they're used to. It's the way it used to be in F2, in their karting days, in that, you know what I mean? It's something they've all grown up with through the years. So I don't think any of them are that bothered about the actual way the car handles. It's purely the engine battery bit that's making them learn again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like last year, well, the previous regulations, that battery was just there to add a little bit extra.
Yeah.
And now
add a bit of spice.
So much depends on it.
Oh, yes.
So, how you manage that battery going into corners, how you manage it on your deployments, how all of that, that's the learning curve. And I think all those drivers that have been able to put the shifts in these last couple of weeks, it's going to pay off big in the first couple of races for them, just in terms of knowing what their batteries can do, where they can deploy it, where they can regain better, and just where the limit of the battery is.
Yes.
Because we spoke about it last week. If that was full deploy on the Audi and it went in less than 3 seconds, you're like,
ooh.
But hopefully that was just where's the limit on?
Yeah, let's hope so.
On recharge and deploy. But yeah, for the likes of Alpine and Haas, fantastic weeks.
Definitely.
Williams, just good to see them without any major issues. Racing Bull as well. Solid. Lindblad and Lawson. Very, very solid showings. That engine, again, both those teams have put an average of 1,000 miles in over the last couple of weeks. Red Bull and Racing Bulls. Very solid engine. The car looks good. It's in the mix there with, the Alpines, the Haas, where you'd expect it to be over the time. And not... I don't think I've seen enough of Lindblad to see how good he is. And you don't expect to see that over pre-season. But
no,
we said this the other week as well. What I'm happy for though is there's not that guillotine just hanging over the likes of Padjar and Lindblad, and they've been able to put time in, get used to the cars, and you think they're going to get some time in there. But Lawson looked solid. Lawson looked very solid.
He did.
But yeah, not a lot to say about those middle teams other than great consistency and no major issues. But then you've got the likes of Audi and Cadillac.
Yeah. Audi's hard though, isn't it? Because on day 3, one of the, Bortoletto is in 7th.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's the Audi looks all right, to be fair.
Yeah.
They've had a few engine issues, obviously expected. It's the first ever engine they've made, and they're the only team with that engine. It's not like they can, walk down the pit lane and go, "Have you had this issue with the engine we gave you?" They can't do that.
No.
So to be fair, ugly side pods to one side for a minute. It looks like it might be half decent.
Yeah, 941 laps over the 2 tests.
It's not bad going.
Just 2 cars. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Nearly on par with what the Red Bull engine, the Ford engine, was doing.
Yeah.
For thingy. So you've got a lot of data. You've got a lot of data.
Yeah.
Just nothing outstanding.
No, it's the same way with Cadillac, though, isn't it? They have been towards the bottom of the timing sheets over all 3 days. But having said that, if that Ferrari's quick, they've got the same engine. And we don't know at what state they've been running the car in because it is a brand new team. You've got to remember, for Cadillac, it's a brand new team. The fact that they've entered F1, they managed to get to the shakedown, and they've been at both the testing sessions. That's impressive for a first time out team.
Yeah, effectively, their team has been live for 10 days.
Yeah, exactly.
They're a long way back on the timing sheets.
Yes.
But it's the first time they've built a car. First time they've run a car. You can have, the most experienced guys in the car like they've got, which is great for them, I think. And such a fantastic move in hiring 2 experienced drivers rather than getting a rookie and a thingy, because looking at the timing sheets, I honestly think this season for them is R&D. The whole season is R&D.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
So you can get as much information as you can from Bottas, from Perez over the next season, maybe the next 2 seasons.
Yeah.
To develop that car. And they're both driving. I only thought about this a moment ago, but Bottas drove the Mercedes, one of the most dominant cars that's ever been.
Oh yeah.
In the sport. Perez drove the Red Bull, again, one of the most dominant cars. They're going to be 2 drivers who can tell you what you want from your chassis and from your engine. So I think anyone who's coming and going, any new supporters of the sport who are coming in because of Cadillac, if you're listening, don't get overexcited this season. My personal thing is, don't get overexcited this season. You're not going to win anything. But you're in such a good position for a team that's just come in. And, And, you've got a very strong engine in there. If you stay as a Ferrari customer over the next couple of seasons, very strong engine. But this season is going to be R&D completely. There's nothing about that team that says to me they're going to get some points. They're going to be fighting for championship points. I think they're going to be an also-ran, but it's going to be great to see the development they make over the season. I think that's what the pre-season showed me with them. It's going to be...
Definitely.
It's going to be good if they can get in the mix every now and again. For a 10th place, or, and get a championship point here and there, but I can't see it happening.
Yeah.
Not after what they've shown the last 2 weeks.
No. But this brings us on, really. So we'll move slightly away from timings. But really, what is the bottom of the barrel? Which I'm very surprised at, to be fair.
Yeah.
Which is Aston Martin. And this is, oh man. I mean, we thought, as much as, don't get me wrong, we laugh and joke about Aston Martin, maybe because of the driver lineup, but we honestly thought an Adrian Newey Aston Martin with a Honda power unit, good grief, it's going to be a force to be reckoned with Alonso behind that wheel. We honestly thought this could be what rockets Aston Martin up the pecking order in 2026. And it has been plagued with problems. Mainly the biggest one is all to do with the Honda power units, which you would imagine with the years that Honda have been in the sport, be one of the most reliable.
Yeah.
And it seems to be anything but.
It's like, as much as like I, take digs at Lawrence Stroll and stuff like that, I honestly thought he'd done a masterstroke getting Adrian Newey, getting a Honda engine. I honestly thought, all props to him, I was like, okay, you're not playing anymore.
Yes.
You're actually looking at this change of regs and going, we could win this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If we play our cards right. And it looked like he made the right moves. It really did.
Yeah.
When there's a change of regs, Adrian Newey's kind of the man you want designing your car. He hits more times than he misses. Problem is, we haven't seen what that chassis can do because the engine's just woeful. And a few weeks ago, we were talking, going, the rumours are that they feel like they've nailed the battery, but they're struggling with the internal combustion engine side of it.
Yeah.
And then we had last week where they couldn't run over 11,000 RPM without it looking like it was going to rattle itself apart. And you're like, well, actually, maybe that rumour's true. You get to this week, and the battery's cooked.
Yeah. Yes, they're saying the engine's not producing enough power to charge the battery now, isn't it?
Yeah, so at the commission on Wednesday, Adrian Newey apparently said that they're not even recharging to the minimum of 250 kilojoules.
Yeah.
And at some tracks, they're going to be required to charge to 350. Well, that's the kind of way you want to hit. And if how much power are you missing?
Yeah.
If you can't even get to 250 and every other team's hitting 350.
Yes.
And it just seems like if you're Lawrence Stroll, if you're anybody else higher up at Aston Martin, right now it just seems like the whole thing is imploding.
Yeah, that's exactly how it seems.
Yeah. Over the 2 weeks, they ran for 394 laps.
Oh.
Pierre Gasly did more on his own.
Yeah.
You can't get any data from that.
No. I mean, it's like I said to you before, it makes you wonder. Obviously, unfortunately, nobody would have thought it. Going Honda was obviously the wrong decision. And you would never have thought that. You look at what Honda's built before, you would never have thought if we go with Honda, it'll be a downside. You might think there'll be a little tweak of performance here and there between the teams, but you would never think that would be the worst one you could go with.
No.
And it's a shame. It's a shame to see, because we're never going to see what that Adrian Newey chassis and aero can do if the engine can't produce the power. And like I said to you before, if you could fit that car now with a Mercedes engine and send it out there and see what it can do with all the little Adrian Newey tricks, I wonder. I just wonder.
I mean, the design might be awful, but we'll never know. It might be the fastest design ever, but we'll never know. And the problem is, as you say, like, you're not going to be able to just go, let's retrofit a Mercedes engine in, because your diffuser, your exhaust system, everything is going to be developed around that engine.
Yeah.
And the problem they've got now, any testing, any problem solving they can do has to be done on a test bench.
Yes. Yeah.
Over the next 2 weeks, they've got to take whatever little data they got from the last 2 weeks and then try and solve it on a test bench back at Sakura in Japan.
But you would think by the time they got to testing anyway, they would have done all that on a test bench. And they would know that it wasn't charging the battery properly. Yeah. And it wouldn't rev.
Yeah. Well, this was their statement after day 2. I've got the statement up on the thingy, right? So this is when they found the related issue. So our last run with Fernando Alonso yesterday showed a battery-related issue that impacted our test plan with Aston Martin Aramco Formula 1 team. Since then, we've been carrying out simulations on the test bench in HRC Sakura, which is Honda Racing Centre Sakura. Due to this and a shortage of power unit parts, we have adapted today's run plan to be very limited and consist of only short stints. That was talking about day 3 stints. So whatever the issue was, apparently only reared its head on the 5th day of testing. And they were like, okay, well, we're going to solve the problem by doing short stints and analysing all the data on day 3.
Yeah.
And ran for 6 laps on day 3.
Good grief.
So we found a problem. Okay, we need to run the car to figure out what's causing the problem, or we need to try and, as you do with any bug or any glitch, you need to be able to replicate it to be able to understand it. So it's like when you do game testing, for example, you find a bug, can you replicate the bug to fix the bug? That's kind of what you need to do. So their plan, I think, day 3 was, let's go replicate this as much as we can.
Yeah.
Get all the data we can. And then after 6 laps, they were like, we're cooked. So whatever issue they found on day 2 of week 2, they only had 6 laps of being able to try and replicate that data. Then go to the test bench. So they've now got to try and replicate a real world scenario on a test bench to find out what the failure is and how to fix it. And they've got to do that within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And supply an engine and fly it out to Australia.
I can't see it happening. I really can't.
It looks like if I'm Lawrence Stroll, I'm at home smashing stuff.
Yeah.
The TV's gone. There's a chair sticking out of it. I put a lot of money into it. I've gone with the team that's been making engines for Red Bull for the last how many seasons. They've got such pedigree. The one thing that you think is not going to let you down, and now you're left with a car that you don't know if you're going to be able to put an engine in 2 weeks.
Do you know what I think this will be like? I think it'll be like the start of 2022 when Mercedes had the zero side pod, and not to mock the zero side pod, you'd only have to see a picture of it to know it's useless. But when Hamilton was obviously struggling with the car, same as George was, they turned it into a research season.
Yeah.
And every single race that Hamilton went out, he had a different sensor attached, or he was doing different runs because they knew the car wasn't going to get anywhere. And the best person to help them with the testing and the data was more than likely Hamilton. I'm not saying George didn't help, but Hamilton was a bit more knowledgeable in doing that. And I think that, unfortunately, if this carries on the way it's going, that's exactly what this season will be for Aston Martin. Whether or not they could turn around and say, we're going to cut our ties with Honda, and from next year, so 2027, we will be with Mercedes or something along those lines. I'm sure there will be a sort of get out of jail free card for a contract like that.
Yeah.
Whether or not they could even do it for say from the summer break.
I was just thinking that.
I don't honestly know, because obviously the chassis will be designed around that engine and gearbox. So it could be an awful lot of work, and it depends whether it fits in the cost cap. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure Adrian Newey cars are not cheap, by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
And if they're spending money hand over fist now to try and fix issues, you just don't know. It's all this butts and coconuts on that matter. I'm only sort of spitballing, if you like. But I don't want that for Aston Martin. I really don't. I had high hopes for Aston Martin this year. Really did.
I wonder,
and it's such a shame.
Yeah, I wonder if they were to switch supplier. As you say, there'll be something contractually, but my guess would be that, of
course,
that there'd be some level of compensation based on terms of like if Honda can't supply.
Yeah.
So that'll probably offset any extra cost of. But
I don't know.
As you say, you got to redesign everything. You got to redesign.
Everything
Underneath the canopy, and the worry. I mean, you heard a rumor. You saw something. I've not seen anything about it, but you mentioned about like, they might not make it to Australia. Now,
yeah.
Here's the thing: even if they just go right, we just got to throw the engine in,
yeah,
and run it and do the R&D. Like, they might not be fast enough to get inside the 107%. And for those who don't know what the 107% is, basically qualifying rules state that your car must be within 107% of the fastest lap in order to start on the grid. Now, obviously, we've seen people not put times in and start from the pit lane or whatever. That's because it's at the steward's discretion. And it's generally down to a safety issue. Like, if we allow you to start from the pit lane, are you going to be fast enough? Generally, it's yes.
Yeah.
Generally, it's yes, you are. You just had a crash and you couldn't put a time in. That's fine.
Yeah.
But if they're outside the 107%, I'm just like hypothetically thinking, if they're outside the 107%, and that battery cannot be charged to deploy at top speeds, is that then a safety issue? So any car that comes behind them on the track and then tries to accelerate out of a corner and they can't accelerate, is there going to be like such a speed discrepancy that it actually becomes a danger?
Yeah, I know what you mean on that one.
So they could turn up at Australia and still effectively not be able to race because they're not quick enough.
I think the problem with that theory is, I understand completely where you're coming from, and I agree that is a bit of a safety issue. But when the drivers were interviewed this week during testing, obviously the question came up of changing the start procedure because the cars have to sit there for so long, revving and things like that. And it was Lando and Piastri that had brought it up as a safety concern, and they said, I think it is a safety concern, if you've got to sit there for so long and you'll end up going into anti-stall. Well, they then passed the microphone on to Hamilton, and straight away he went, it's not a safety concern. No, of course it's not. And to be fair, then Max joined in, no, it's not a safety concern. And you think, okay, well, it'll be one or the other, because actually that is a safety concern. I understand cars that have got it nailed, good on you, well done. But actually, having said that, the only way you're going to get away from that is if you're starting at the front of the grid and you've got that nailed. If for any reason, say Ferrari have got it absolutely nailed and they can launch from anywhere, regardless of how long they've had on the start grid. If they start because of a fault or a bad bit of weather or a bad skid, say they start in 12th, and you end up with 6 cars in front of you that pull off, but then all of a sudden go into anti-stall, you've got a car accelerating very quickly past 150 mile an hour with a car in front of it going into anti-stall. You cannot say that is not a safety concern, because it is. Yeah. I understand why they don't want to change it, but you can't say that is safe.
I think it's a relative safety thing, if you get me. So in terms of like the car's not going to be getting to 150 before it gets to the car that's 2 car lengths in front of it, if you get me. So it might be doing 60, might be doing 70, but it's not going to be doing 120, 150. It's just not.
Oh no, but but having said that, in years gone by, we have seen it at race start where cars have gone into a almost anti-stall, or even in some of the slightly older cars, they've gone into an actual stall. 2 cars are traveling behind. One pulls out because there's a stock car. The other one doesn't see it, and it rear ends it and obliterates them.
Oh yeah,
that is a safety concern. I understand why they don't want to change it, but it is down to safety.
I'm not saying it isn't at all. It is. It doesn't matter if the impact's at 60 or 120. It doesn't really matter. It's a safety issue. I'm thinking in relative terms. So the reason it might be unsafe for that Honda engine in a race scenario is, could you imagine you're following it coming out of a corner? You both hit 160, 170, absolutely fine. Then all of a sudden it's like they hit the brakes a car length in front of you.
Oh, yeah.
And you're still boosting. And you're now in a 180 mile an hour collision.
Oh, of course.
200 mile an hour. Yeah. I think that's the relative safety side of it, if you get me. So that's a much nastier scenario whereby they could look at it and go, we don't think your engine is safe to be on track at full pelt in a racing situation. So if you haven't qualified within 107%, we can't kind of give you a steward's pass and say, okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm thinking with it. I think both are safety issues. And I do think if we see, coming back to the starting thing, FIA have said we're not going to change anything for now. If we see a shunt in Australia, I guarantee you we'll have a different starting procedure for the next
year. I would have thought so.
I think they kind of just want to see what happens, because actually, as much as seeing shunts that rip wheels off and stuff like that with these cars, I don't think the impact would be that great for the drivers in terms of, like, it's not going to be a massive G impact with these monocoques and the safety. I think that the safety issue side of it there is the drivers will be okay with a 100 mile an hour shunt off the line. Yeah. Whereas a 180 mile an hour shunt.
Of course, yeah.
So I think that's what they're looking at.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's just, I think more than anything, mainly with the starting procedure I was thinking of, it's more, it makes a bit of a mockery of the sport, doesn't it? If you've waited so long for the start of a season, and then 8 out of 22 cars go into anti-stall on the start of a race, and you end up having crashes galore, the cars that have gotten away could end up being taken out the race completely. And you just think, this is daft. And don't get me wrong, it could all work out perfectly fine and everyone could be fine. But I just think, if you know this is an issue now, why not try and sort it? And even though Ferrari have sort of gone, oh no, it's not a safety concern, we don't have to sit there for as long. But when they videoed the Ferrari, it's still sat there for like 8 to 10 seconds before it's going. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't look like anyone's got it nailed. Watching the McLaren do it as well, the McLaren doesn't seem too happy.
Yeah, part of me thinks with the Ferrari, is like, because they've gone, no, we're fine. Like, part of me wonders if they're just trolling. You know, when they're sitting there just revving it, but they're just going, oh no, look, we have to sit here for ages, don't we? And then day one, they're going to be like, just like straight off the line and gone. Okay. Because you said earlier that they like put a smaller turbo in order to.
Yeah, so I was reading somewhere that they've developed and fitted a smaller turbo, so you'll still get the same boost run through the turbo, but the actual whether or not it's the inlet or the actual turbo, but from what I was reading, it was the turbo is smaller so that it builds boost quicker. And you think, that is clever. And that's what I mean. That's what they've done on road cars for years. Some of the first, was it the BMW 5 Series, the 530D, or the 535D, that had a large turbo and a small turbo that fed the big one. Yeah. So effectively, it got rid of turbo lag. And that's what they've sort of done with the Ferrari, but you'd only allow one turbo. So they fitted a smaller one. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what the start procedure's like. But did you see the race start at the end of testing this week when Hamilton went off like a scalded rat?
Yeah.
Did you see that? Good grief. I mean, I know that wasn't a proper race procedure, but man, he was what? He started something like 7th, and he left like he'd stolen that car. That was so quick.
I think what was really good, if you watch that, like, I think Max got away really well.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, oh, that Red Bull's got off the line. And then all of a sudden, just this Ferrari's just passed at me like, oh, hang on a minute. So that's why I mean, like, wondering whether, like, they're just trolling a little bit. Like, if we sit here for 10 minutes, then, we've got, like, so much more boost than we need. Like, which is, we are at peak boost where you're probably just getting there. Like, we're at the peak, we can go.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, some people have said he's pulled away from the line and then he's sort of tried to see, let's see how quick I can go, and he's activated the full boost. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see. Yeah. But if that's anything to go by, congratulations, Ferrari, you've just won 2026.
Yeah.
that was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting. Like, cause you come back to that, like, if it's the boost and everything like that, then it's just coming back to the Aston Martin side thing again. Like, if the battery is going to be that important, like, for getting off the line as well, for that, they really could be cooked. And I just, it's sad. It's sad. As much as we mock them for Lance Stroll and all stuff like that. We don't want to see. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see a team. But we were worried about Williams, and now we're like, oh, Aston Martin just,
yeah. I mean, the sad thing is, as much as we do mock Stroll, maybe the last series of car, maybe the last set of regulations, maybe that just didn't suit his drive. Maybe it was just he couldn't get to grips with it at all. Because the regulations before that, he did perform better in those. I'm not saying he was going to be a world champion, but he did perform better in the last set, the set before regulations. So whether or not this would suit him better, maybe he just didn't agree with those regs. Maybe the driving style was wrong for him. Maybe he could surprise us. But unfortunately, by the looks of it, we're never going to get to find out.
No.
But yeah. But obviously, this week we've heard a bit more from the drivers as well.
Yes.
So last week, obviously, most of the drivers really, really enjoying the regulations, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Made up.
Oh, yeah. Loving the cars. They thought they were all fantastic, with the exception of Hamilton, Alonso, and Max, pretty much. And obviously, Max can just go and retire. Yeah. But it turns out maybe Lando was wrong.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest, he's kind of annoyed me.
Yes.
So, those who didn't listen last week or are not sure, basically, this whole thing was, no, I'm having fun driving them. They're great cars to drive. Yeah. Max can retire if he wants to. That was kind of the gist of it. Yeah. But this is, and I've got the quote up here. This is what he said this week. I just didn't want to come out to the media and complain to everyone in the first weekend back. But these are a couple of quotes that I've kind of put together for anybody who just want to say. It's been quite an amusing week to see the reactions. It's certainly made a lot of people comment and say a lot of things, which has been pretty funny. I just wanted to see everyone's reaction. I do agree with basically every other driver, because I think every other driver's made their comments pretty clear. I just didn't want to come out to the media and complain to everyone on the first weekend back. I want to still enjoy my time and just say what I feel.
Yeah, whatever.
So I didn't really mean it last week. I was just saying it to see what everybody else would say.
Yeah, of course he was.
He's just trying to walk it back without looking like an idiot.
Yeah, because he knows that all the other drivers on the grid have gone, I'm not really enjoying these regulations as much. Yeah. And the cars are difficult and things like that, and they don't like the battery aspect. And so he's now stood there and thought, I'm the odd one out now.
Yeah. The thing that tells me that he's trying to walk this back is if he was just saying it just to say, just saying, I know they're not enjoying it, but I'm really loving this car.
Yeah.
That'd have been grand.
Yeah.
But it was the jab at Max.
Yeah.
The jab at Max last week tells me that actually no, what he meant what he said last week. Because if you were just testing the waters, you would literally just say, "Well, no, I'm enjoying it. I understand they're not, but I'm actually really enjoying it." And then you can see what saying, "Oh, it's been funny seeing the reactions."
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I like you, Lando, but you're being a bit of an idiot here.
It's not just that. It's exactly like we said last week. The problem is he made a rod for his own back. With the comments he said last week, it was basically for the rest of the season, he cannot complain. Yeah. Because anyone could just turn around and say, "You're paid loads of money to be here. Shut up." And he made that rod for his own back. Yeah. And to be honest with you, it did seem more like he mainly said it just to have a go at Max. If Max had come out and either said nothing or he'd have said, "I don't mind the regulation. It's fine. I'm quite enjoying myself," Lando would have stood by his comments. Do you know what I mean? He would have just said, "Oh, yeah, I'm quite enjoying it as well."
Yeah.
But he did it just to prove a point to Max. And the thing is, even Russell jumped on the bandwagon with that. And he's been very quiet this week.
Yeah, it's kind of made an idiot out of Russell as well. Like Lando coming out and saying this.
Yeah, it has a little bit, yeah.
But like,
I mean, he does a good job of that by himself.
I completely get the end of the end of that quote that I put up there. Where he's like, "I want to still enjoy my time and just say, well, I get that, absolutely get that." And he did say elsewhere, "I wouldn't want to go and do anything else." I don't blame you.
Yeah,
I don't blame you. This is where you want to be, and you want to enjoy being at the pinnacle of motorsport. That's grand. But you could have just left it at that.
Yeah.
You didn't need the personal jabs at Max. You didn't need anything else other than, "I've enjoyed my week. We'll see what next week brings." And then this week you could have gone, "You know what? I enjoyed last week, but this week's been a bit tricky. I'm not too sure now." And everyone would have gone, "Oh, yeah. Everyone's been having a bit of an issue with Orlando, no problem." But you made a rod for your own back. Now,
that's it.
Oh, you haven't had a good week, so.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah. And I think it's certainly made a lot of people comment, and it's been pretty funny.
No,
you're just trying to backtrack it and make it look like you were just joking around when you really weren't.
No,
you really, really weren't, because, like I say, if you were, there wouldn't have been you wouldn't have needed the jabs, you wouldn't have needed the thing, and
no,
why not last week say, well, Max, Lewis, and Fernando can move on to different things. They've all won championships. They've all done what they needed to do. They can just go enjoy life now. Why deliberately just aim it at Max? And the same with George. Why say, well, I guess Max can go to the Nordschleife? Yeah, he can. He probably still will during the season on a quiet week.
I think the thing is, kind of expect it from George. Because George has always had a bit of a bee in his bonnet when it comes to Max. They've sort of always been frenemies. You know what I mean? I've never really thought of them two as being close on or off the track. Whereas Lando and Max used to be really close.
Yeah.
And Lando seems to take any opportunity he can just to have a little jab.
Yeah,
and you just think, do you know what, man? Just grow up. You're a world champion. If Max wants to say he's not enjoying these regulations of the car, why not just say, well, to be honest with you, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm actually quite enjoying myself. And I quite like the car and that. It's a shame that Max doesn't. That's all you need to say.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's no point. There's no point.
You can tell how close they were, and still are to some degree. Because whenever he's in the grid and she sees Lando, it's always like, hey, and he's like, hey, and it's very, you don't have that dynamic from somebody who's not your friend,
No.
You don't have that. So it makes me sad when he's like taking those little digs at his mate.
Exactly.
And you're like, it's just it. And I was kind of hoping, and it was the same thing I hoped for Max when he won his first. And it did with Max. Or hat off to him. He kind of took a step back and reassessed everything.
Yeah.
And kind of just calmed down a little bit and just became a little bit wiser, a little bit calmer.
Yeah.
And you saw that in his racing as well.
Yeah, he did.
And I kind of hope that Lando would be like, right, I've had to go all out, and yet I've had to be a bit nasty this year, and I've had to be a little bit selfish this year. But I've done it. I can take a step back and go, right,
yeah,
what's the lay of the land? What are the friendships I kind of, when the helmet goes on, we're at war, but when the helmet comes off, we're good, and everyone's going to understand that. And I don't think he's done that. I think there's still a little bit of immaturity there. And it's sad because it kind of you've achieved it now.
Yeah.
Take a step back, take it all in, and go from there. And it just feels like week one, let's have a jab at Max.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, dude. Just, no. As you say, you're a world champion now. Act like one.
Well, yeah. I don't understand any of that. I mean, there were so many of the drivers who said they didn't like it. Why pick out one fella?
Yeah.
But, obviously, according to Lando, he was just trolling everyone. But he wasn't.
No.
If you're going to do it, you've got to be good at it. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be. But it's a shame to see, and I just hope he calms down the sass, as it were, leading into the season. Yeah. Just concentrate on yourself. Do you know what I mean?
That's exactly
all you've got to do. And if Lando's absolutely loving this regulation, and he loves the car, and he loves the way it works, fantastic. But if you don't, just be honest about it. Don't take what other people say and twist it and turn it into a big deal and all that. Just be honest, because that's what I want to see. I want to see the honesty from the driver. That's what I've loved in recent years from Hamilton. He's been so honest, whereas I used to see him as being quite closed off. So if there were issues, he'd never sort of admit to it. He'd never sort of come forward and go, "Oh well, It was very, we'll do better next week," but he'd never sort of elaborate, if you like.
Yeah.
So I didn't find him. I know it sounds weird because it's not like I've ever met the fella, but it's almost as though they appear approachable.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I know there's a documentary. I think it's out now actually online of Max Verstappen, and I haven't managed to watch the full thing yet. But there's a brilliant part when somebody asks him about going to the premiere of the Formula One movie, and he says, "I don't want to go to that." He said, "Do you think I want to go dressed in a suit, acting all smart and all that?" And he said, "What's the point?" And I'll paraphrase it. He said, "What's the point in dressing smart? We all poo on the same toilet." And I thought, that's exactly who he is. That's exactly what it's like. He sees it very much as, well, why would I turn up acting all important when we're all just people?
Yeah.
And that's the level-headedness that he's gained since becoming that world champion.
Yeah.
Because before that, don't get me wrong, I've always liked Max, but he was very arrogant, and he would lash out with his comments and things like that. But he's calmed down since then. Yeah. He's like, "Oh, I've done what I wanted to do. Now I'm just enjoying the ride."
Yeah.
And I was hoping the same for Lando.
Yeah, I mean,
and hopefully he still will.
Yeah, maybe it'll come. Maybe it's just taking a little bit of time. But yeah, I know what you mean about Lewis though, because he used to be very much the PR machine.
Yeah, it came across as arrogant though.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I know he didn't mean it that way. That's the way it came across.
Yeah. No, I think it was very much the PR machine, but now he's been very much just very open, like last season. Like, yeah. I just want to kind of get the season over with and go and think that's how I feel right now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spin it. I'm not going to be like, "Oh yeah, but we're Ferrari." It's no. It's just
exactly.
And yeah, they make you feel like I could go and get a pint with that guy.
That's exactly it.
But you feel like at the moment, if you went and got a pint with Lando, he'd just moan about Max the whole time.
Yeah.
No, that's the kind of feeling I get on it. Like, oh, come on. Tell me about your world champion. Yeah. Oh, yeah, but Max. No, tell me about you.
Yeah, exactly.
I kind of feel like that's the way it'd be. But just I hope there's a little bit of maturity that comes over the next couple of months from him, and
I hope so.
And now that he's had to walk this back and try and save some face, maybe he'll think twice about
maybe
about stuff that he says, but who knows?
Yes.
Couple of other news bits.
Go on.
Well, Toto and the
was this Toto in the press conference?
It was Toto in the press conference. Now,
oh man,
I can understand the guys frustrated because everyone seems to be attacking Mercedes, like, oh, your engine, or you're this, or you're that, and there seems to be a new leak every other day. I think the guy needs to call a plumber, right?
Yeah.
And this one was about the amalgamation of the fuel. Apparently, it's not been finalized yet, or it's not passing the regulations yet, or whatever. And he's like, all these rumors that are coming out, and maybe you're going to find that I was on a certain list, right, at some point, and like, you've overstepped the mark there, dude. Yeah, your fuel might not be, and someone might have leaked it, and it might be annoying, it might be upsetting, but you're the head of the team.
Yeah.
Like, come on, pick your words.
The thing with that is, that was a dark joke, right?
Mm.
Don't get me wrong, I did laugh when he said it, right?
Yeah.
But that's not what annoyed me. He shouldn't be saying things like that because, it could offend people and things like that. Fine, no problem. He shouldn't have said it. It was the swearing leading up to that. Because when you get drivers, the main driver so far who got fined and has been really penalised for it was Max.
Yeah.
And then ever since, Lando's done it live. He's dropped the F-bomb and things like that. Nothing happened the first time. Leclerc's done it. Nothing happened. Russell did it. Nothing happened. After they punished Max. And then it's only when he did it, I think it was live at Vegas in front of the waterfall, and Lando did it. And it was like, okay, we're going to give him a little fine now. Well, I'm sorry, but the team principal should be the pinnacle of that behaviour. Because you can't use the excuse, well, they were full of adrenaline after a race. No, Toto Wolff is full of caffeine and rye bread. Don't give me that nonsense. If you're going to fine the drivers, Toto Wolff should now have a fine because he said it twice in a row when he swore. So it's got to be the same standards for everyone, absolutely everyone. And making comments about the list that he said about, I won't repeat them, but he should not have said that, and he should apologise for that, not just laugh it off and go, oh, you didn't like that I said that, did you? Like, no, it's beyond a joke. I can understand his frustration, especially around, the fuel side of it. Apparently, there were only 2 teams that were approved with the fuel, so they weren't just picking on Mercedes. So don't make it out like they were picking on you, Toto. You're not the poor kid in the playground. And as far as their engine side of it goes, yes, there's been a lot of rumours around it, but any time a team gets the upper hand on something, all the other teams complain. That's what they do. If it was Red Bull that had found this technology and none of the other teams, I'm pretty sure Mercedes would have something to say about it. Do you know what I mean? It's just the way the game goes. Somebody makes a leap, everyone will complain about it. They're all playing the game. That's the way it is. Do you know what I mean? So don't make out like you're being hard done by. It
was just like a sort of like, the swearing, bang out of order. The comments, so like I did chuckle because I was like, that was unexpected. It's a dark joke.
Yeah.
We've all got that dark humour in us, but I immediately was like, and you could sense the awkwardness from the other team principals as well, like the awkward laughs, like, yeah, okay.
Fred was not happy about that.
No.
No.
But that's Toto just, I'd want to see a fine incoming, definitely.
Definitely.
But then moving on from that, big news actually.
Go on.
Red Bull. Their chief designer, Craig Skinner, left last week.
Yes, I believe so.
Just seemingly out of nowhere, you just helped design brand new car, ready for a brand new season, and he's left with no clear destination as to where he's going.
I don't know.
Usually when you hear about this kind of stuff, especially like chief designers and things like that, you're like, oh, they're going on garden leave.
Yeah.
And then they're going to join this team on the mid-season break. And basically garden and leave is basically getting paid to stay at home and do nothing. Because of contracts and NDAs and whatnot. And you usually hear, like, if it's a move within F1, garden and leave for 6 months and then you're on to your next team. If it's a move outside of F1 to somewhere else, it's usually, oh yeah, they're joining this team in rally for, and there's but it's just, he's gone.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is we don't have any information on this.
No.
So for all we know, he could have said, in plenty of advance, I'm going to go, but I'll make sure to see the car through its full development until testing's done, and then I'm off. We simply don't know. There is no more information on that.
He's been there 20 years.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Maybe maybe Christian Horner's given him a phone. He's been like, "Hey, I'm buying a team. Come with me."
I mean, it's not out of the realms, is it? If he's had that long of a relationship with.
No, not at all.
With Christian. Sorry, I'm trying to Google something else because I just thought about something else for the news section. I don't know if you've heard about it. Gunther Steiner's back in motorsport.
I did hear something about that, but I can't remember where he's gone.
MotoGP.
Oh yeah.
He's led a consortium to acquire Red Bull KTM Tech 3 in MotoGP.
Yeah.
I was like, of all the places for Gunther Steiner to turn up.
I love Gunther. He was brilliant.
He was so
loved
good.
Him. He was fantastic.
Yeah.
He was exactly what we've described before. He's one of those fellas that you thought, if ever I met him, I bet you could sit down, have a pint with him, and have a great laugh.
Yeah.
He just seemed like so approachable and down to earth. Always liked him. Yeah.
I was just thinking, I was like, oh, I've missed something. Oh, Gunther Steiner. I was like, I remember reading. I was like, oh, hang on. Because I saw, like, the news headline was like, Gunther Steiner led consortium buys team. And I was like, because obviously we had like Alpine being on the market or stuff like that. I was like, oh, don't tell me something's quickly. And I clicked on it and I was like, oh, he's gone into MotoGP. Oh, kind of cool. That's kind of cool. But that was just a quick one that come to me then. And the only other real big bit of news that I've heard anyway, but I don't know if you've heard any more. And this was literally as we were prepping for the podcast tonight, is Damon Hill has gone back to Williams. 1996 F1 World Champion Damon Hill is now the official Williams ambassador.
He is indeed, yeah.
Seems to be a lot of former world champions being snapped up as ambassadors at different teams last couple of weeks.
Well, I mean, good on him.
Yeah.
But I've never really understood the whole ambassador role thing. It's just more PR stuff, isn't it, really?
Yeah. I mean, the Damon Hill one it makes sense because he won his championship at Williams.
Of course, yeah.
Fantastic season fighting against Schumacher. He should have had 2 titles if it wasn't for Schumacher deliberately crashing into him on the last race.
Yes.
I really like Damon Hill. I loved him when he was at Arrows. So that was another team that Max's dad, Josh, drove for as well. Arrows. I loved the Arrows team. They were such the underdogs. They were kind of like, think Cadillac.
Yeah.
Well, back in the 90s. But yeah, just that was literally as we were prepping. I was flicking through. Was there any other news that we'd seen? And that was announced 5 hours ago, apparently.
Yeah, well, the only other thing coming up this week is Drive to Survive starts this week.
It does.
Yes, but I mean, it's never a true representation of the season. It's the soap opera version of the season.
Yeah,
in which
I'm sorry.
The thing was, right, when Drive to Survive first started, I really enjoyed it. It was very much it wasn't so much a dramatization at the time. It was more, it got you really hyped up, even though you just watched that season. It got you really excited, thinking, "Oh, that was a great season, wasn't it?" But you got to see the background of, the team principals with some of the drivers, speaking to some of the mechanics, and you got to see those drivers that were also struggling. You got a glimpse of how it was affecting them, if you like, and how they were trying to build themselves back out of it. And it was really good. The last season or so, it's been very... The way they painted certain drivers in certain scenarios, you think, hang on a minute, I watched that race. That was nothing like that. And that driver wasn't like that at the time. What are you talking about? And they've taken sort of bits of interviews and bits of reactions and spliced them together from across the season to make them say another thing. And I'll watch it purely because I love my F1 and it'll keep me going until the beginning of March.
Yeah.
But I just hope they've stepped away from that. The Kim Kardashian F1. No offense, Hamilton. But, I don't want keeping up with the Kardashians in F1.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
The first couple of seasons were brilliant for me.
Yeah.
Because they made the drama from the actual events.
Yes.
And they did it very well. And it was like, race by race, and it built up that way. And it's been great for the sport as a whole, bringing new fans in. And that's great because we want more fans, we want more people watching F1, we want more people interested. But it was so good at building the drama from the actual season, race by race, drive by drive, and you're like, it was so good. And as you say, recently it's like, if we splice this from this race in with this, we show Max's reaction to this here, it makes it look like he was really angry with this driver, and you're like, no. Like, the problem there for me is if you only get your info, so not everyone can watch F1 live, not everyone can see what's going on. If you get most of your info from Drive to Survive, you're not hearing the story. You're not seeing how things played out. You're not really...
Of course.
You're not seeing F1. So, if you're a Drive to Survive fan, what I would say is this: enjoy it, but take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
because it's a great watch. It's a exciting watch, but they will mislead you just for the drama, just for the clicks, just for the ratings. I love what it's done for the sport. I don't like what it's become over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, I get you completely. That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think that brings us to a close.
I think it does, bud. Fair bit
it does.
Gone through tonight.
But obviously, there's nothing now until the beginning of the season.
Yes.
So really, I think our next video before the season starts will be a little bit of our predictions. We're going to get our Mystic Meg crystal balls out. That's if any of you remember Mystic Meg, by the way.
Yeah, I remember Mystic Meg.
That's old now.
I am old, though, so...
Well, I know. But if any of you don't know what Mystic Meg is, when the National Lottery first started, it used to be on TV live every Saturday. Is it still live on TV? I don't think it is it?
I don't think it is.
I wouldn't have thought so. But anyway, before the balls were drawn, they would go over to Mystic Meg, and it'd be like a woman dressed as like a witch with a crystal ball, and she'd give her predictions on what the numbers would be, and she was always wrong. But she'd be like, there'd be a 7, and you're like, well, great, I chose 7 and all, and I've won nothing. But it was Mystic Meg, and she'd look into a mystic ball. So that's what we're going to do next week.
Yeah.
but we're not going to try and guess the lottery numbers. We're going to try and guess who's coming where.
Yeah.
And the good thing is, I don't think me and you agree at all on where people are going to come.
I think it's going to be an interesting one. I think one or two might be close to each other, but I think...
Yeah, I think so.
The plan for next week, and for anybody listening or watching, reach out to us in the comments of this video. Give us your predictions as well for after seeing pre-season testing and the shakedown. Give us your predictions for drivers. Give us the top 5 of your drivers, and give us your constructors order if you're brave enough.
Oh yeah.
We'll do the same next week. We'll break down our choices and why. But yeah, I think we'll be a little bit apart on some, maybe quite close on others. But
I think so. I think we need a couple of extra categories as well. You see, I think we need first DNF and most. So I reckon first DNFs and the team to DNF most for the season. I mean, I think we already know that one.
Yeah.
But I reckon we need a couple of little guessing ones. But once they're locked in, they're locked in. Yeah. We can't change it mid-season.
Do we spice this up a little bit?
Oh,
and just say end of the season, the one who's furthest away from their predictions has to do a forfeit.
Oh. Yeah, because I know it'll be you. So it's fine. It's fine. I'm happy with that, yeah.
Don't know what the forfeit is yet. Maybe like, really spicy hot wing or something. I don't know, but... I
like hot wings.
But yeah, maybe we can put some thought into that.
The one chip challenge.
I suggested that spicing up. I can't really say no, can I? I can't back out if I come with
it. That's it now. You've made your bed, mate. Sleep in it.
Can't even be complaining for the rest of the season now.
Why is it spicy? It's that's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, do give us your predictions in the comments. And as always, if you've got any questions, any thoughts on anything we've discussed, you want to disagree with us, you want to tell us why you agree with us or whatever, just leave the comments. It'll be great to hear from you. It'd be great to do an episode in the future where we do go through some of the comments. And if you do give us your predictions, we will seal them in an envelope. And we will hold them till the end of the season to see if you were right as well.
We will.
And if you weren't, it's up to you if you do a forfeit. But until next week, thank you so much for listening to us, and take care.